हेलो गाइस, आपका मधुर गुप्ता चैनल पे बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। ठीक है, आज हमारे साथ तृप्ति आहूजा मैम है, जिनसे हमने बहुत सारी बातें कर ली हैं। ठीक है, उनको मैं थोड़ा सा कंक्लूड कर दूं। तृप्ति आहूजा मैम अभी पोस्ट डॉक कर रही हैं फ्रॉम आईआईटी के, और पोस्ट डॉक कर चुकी है आईपीडीएफ फ्रॉम आईआईटी दिल्ली। ठीक है, सो हम थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ते हैं। इन्होंने फर्स्ट वीडियो में अपनी एमएससी तक की जर्नी के बारे में, ठीक है, थोड़ा सा बताया है, इलोबरेट इस तरीके से किया है कि आप सब उसको कनेक्ट कर पाओगे। ठीक है, कि क्या क्या डिफिकल्टीज आती हैं एक गर्ल की लाइफ में जब वो बाहर जाती है। ठीक है, प्रिपरेशन के टाइम में कैसे, और ये न्यू मेथड आप सीख सकते हो। ठीक है, जो भी न्यू जनरेशन इस चीज को देखेगी कि हर जगह ऐसा नहीं होता कि हम अफोर्ड नहीं कर पा रहे कोचिंग को, तो ये सब हमारे फिर एक्सक्यूज बन के रह जाते हैं। ठीक है, जैसे मैम ने जो एक न्यू एक्सपीरियंस बताया कि आप 7 लोगों की गैदरिंग बनाई मैम ने, और एक एक चैप्टर सबको डिवाइड कर दिया, देन यू मास्टर दैट चैप्टर। तो 7 दिन में आपके 7 चैप्टर रेडी हो रहे हैं। सो एक्चुअली क्यूरियोसिटी रहती है, डेडिकेशन रहती है, तो एक्सक्यूज वहां बनते ही नहीं है। ठीक है, जैसे मैम की जर्नी में हमने देखा टिल बीएससी तक कि मैम की क्यूरियोसिटी रही अंदर की कि मेरे को करना है, मेरे को आईआईटी में जाना है, कैसे ना कैसे करके तो उनको चीजें मिलती गई। ठीक है, तो क्यूरियोसिटी रहती है तो चीजें मिलती जाती हैं। So let we start from MSc. So yes मैम, आपका जो MSc का एक्सपीरियंस, MSc से PhD कैसे रहा? आपने कैसे सोचा कि मेरे को MSc यहाँ PhD यहाँ से ही कर लेनी चाहिए, IIT मद्रास से ही? So yes मैम।
Yeah. So in that previous video, मैंने ये बताया था कि how did I entered IIT, how did I got actually IIT Madras. It was because of the rank and the counseling choices I have given. So IIT Madras was my fourth choice. But according to that, even the rank was very good, 139 that time. But at that time, like IIT Kanpur, IIT Delhi were at top priority. But nowadays, IIT Madras at the top priority. So that 139 rank landed me in IIT Madras. That time, which I was feeling like, oh, I couldn't get IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, which were near to my home. But actually, I'm thankful now that I landed up in IIT Madras, because IIT Madras environment is super cool compared to in terms of studies, discipline and everything. IIT Madras environment is perfect. So so that's how I came to IIT Madras as a master's student. That time I was not the PhD student. I think, Madhur, if you don't mind up, I'll had my tea along with my discussion. Is that fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fine, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So so first I entered in IIT Madras, and that time I was not a PhD student, as Madhur has mentioned before. I'm a MSc-PhD dual degree student from IIT Madras. So so it's a dual degree program from IITs. Is a program which is being which is being offered to you so that you can convert your masters to PhD based on some of your good academic excellence that you have done at your IIT. So in IIT Madras में मैंने MSc से PhD convert करवाया when my academic GPA or CGPA which you got was above 8. And the second important thing is your master's project. तो आप master's project किसी न किसी professor के साथ करते हैं, तो आपको अपने professor को convince करना पड़ेगा कि you want to convert your same project for the PhD project. So with some many objectives. अभी आपका masters में एक objective के साथ आप project करते हो, but आपको PhD multiple objectives के साथ करना रहता है, तो you have to convince your guide. So you have to do well in your master's project. That's the thing. So you have to do good in your master's project. Make your professor convince कि you want to continue your PhD also in your same lab. And then your academic performance is good, which is above 8 GPA. And once your professor says yes, then he will write a recommendation letter to the academics of IIT. that she has good academic performance, as well as the master's project is going well. And I allowed her that she can continue her master's to PhD. So that's how I converted my master's to PhD in the 4th semester of master. So I basically finished my MSc in 1.5 year, and it's 2 years, but the 4th semester already started with my PhD. So that's how I started my PhD journey from the same lab, which is a very reputed lab from IIT Madras. I have done my PhD with Professor Tripti, who's one of the Padma Shri recipient of 2021. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was like my switching of my from masters to PhD.
ओके. सो जैसे मैम ने बताया कि MSc टू PhD कैसे प्रोग्राम चेंज करते हैं हम, ठीक है, और बहुत स्टूडेंट्स को पता लग जाता है थ्रू आउट द सराउंडिंग्स, ठीक है, कि आप MSc से PhD जा सकते हैं। और जैसे मैम ने मेंशन किया कि अबव 8 CGPA आपकी होनी चाहिए, मतलब कहने का मतलब ये है कि आपका गुड एकेडमिक होना चाहिए आपको प्रोफेसर को बताने के लिए कि आपका जो MSc प्रोजेक्ट है जिसमें आप अच्छा कर रहे हो उसको आप कंटिन्यू कर सकते हो PhD के लिए उन्हीं प्रोफेसर के अंडर में। सो जैसे मैम ने बताया कि और इंटर IIT सिस्टम भी एक चीज मैं मेंशन करना चाहूंगा कि इंटर IIT सिस्टम भी होता है। अगर आप IIT से MSc कर रहे हो तो आप अप्लाई कर सकते हो, ठीक है, और अप्लाई के लिए आपको थ्रू आउट फ्रॉम द इंटरव्यू आपको एंटर्ड होता है PhD में, और उसके लिए भी क्राइटेरिया सेम है कि आपकी जो CGPA है वो 8 से अबव होनी चाहिए, और एकेडमिक जो रिकमेंडेशन जैसे मैम ने मेंशन किया कि रिकमेंडेशन आपको मिलनी चाहिए, तो रिकमेंडेशन आपके पास होनी चाहिए फॉर एंटरिंग PhD थ्रू आउट फ्रॉम अ इंटरव्यू। सो मैम अब आपकी जैसे MSc से PhD में आप जा चुके हैं, ठीक है, हम एक तरीके से आपकी लाइफ को वापस रिकॉल कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, फ्रॉम इंटरमीडिएट। सो हाँ मैम, आपकी PhD जर्नी कैसी रही? आपने कौन कौन से फेसेस देखे और एक्चुअली में कौन कौन से फेसेस देखता है एक PhD स्टूडेंट? सो यस मैम।
So every PhD student has their own journey in PhD, because PhD is a very challenging at IITs. To some people, अगर आपका प्रोजेक्ट जो डिसाइड हुआ है अगर वो स्टार्टिंग से बहुत स्मूथली जा रहा है तो you might not feel PhD as bit hectic or burden, but to most of the students, I'll say, at least for chemistry students, 90% of the chemistry students, तो थोड़ा सा ये लगता है माइंड में कि अरे मैंने कोई गलती तो नहीं कर दी PhD ज्वाइन करके। So that's what the question it comes to every candidate of PhD, but it's not every time the same thing. It can be a passion for someone, तो चाहे कितनी भी challenges या problems आएगी PhD में, that person will face it. Even for me also the same thing happened कि जब मैंने PhD join किया था I was very enthusiastic, but it was happening like 1 or 2 year मेरा जो project का topic था that was not deciding properly और वो उतना perfectly नहीं जा रहा था। तो some point of time I also had in like starting 2 years was very difficult for me, and it will be difficult for every candidate of PhD. The beginning 2 years will be very very challenging because उस time पे आपको अपने आप को mold करना रहता है। You are like a pot. तो जैसे कि एक pot को मतलब जो बनाता है pot person, हाँ उस पे कारीगरी किया जाता है, तो उसी तरह से आपके ऊपर कारीगरी हो रही है to become trained for doing your project. तो स्टार्टिंग में आपको इसलिए डिफिकल्टी होता है बिकॉज इन IIT's PhD you have to do coursework for 1 year beginning. You can take two subjects, like two like there are four subjects you need to take. Subject in the sense four courses you have to do.
4 courses.
So yeah, 4 courses you have to do, which you can do in one semester itself, or you can do two. Along with that, nowadays there are 2 additional courses, research related courses. So those are not graded. Like those are not graded in the sense you won't get credit for that, but you have to pass in that course. So overall there are 6 course credit. Along with that, you will get some TA duties. So that is teaching assistant duties that you have to do along with some different professors, that you need to take some classes, you need to take some tutorials. And after that, apart from that, you have to look for your project. So project in the sense you have to first understand your project. So you have to go through the huge literature survey, which is there already in that related to your project. And then you have to design something new or novel out of that project. Like what is the new that I am going to do? Obviously, it's a research. Like already something has been done and you are searching again with the new perspective. Okay. So these are all different phases for a PhD, which makes it very hectic. So for me, since I was a dual degree student, I started from my 4th semester master. So for me, it was more burden because I have to do my 4th year master's courses along with my PhD coursework and along with the TA-ship and everything. And then in PhD life, it's not just coursework, your project. Many phases of presentations will come at your tenure. That is, you have to give your comprehensive exam. So in this, some of the IIT's comprehensive exam is very difficult. Like in IIT Madras, your comprehensive exam is literally not that easy. You have to pass it. Otherwise, professors there will fail you, and you have to, and without clearing your compre exam, you cannot give your research proposal seminar.
Okay.
So these are all different stages of a PhD life. So for me, for us, like we actually, I was not the alone MSc-PhD dual degree student at my lab during my time. There were 2 more students. So we gave, so it was like for everyone, project was different. And we have to do coursework. We have to do master's project or summarize it. And since I was a upgraded or dual degree student, so we have to give our 2 presentations, like 2 seminars before our research proposal seminar. So since I have not for a MSc-PhD dual degree student, I don't have to submit the project after my completion of my 2 years of masters. Rather than that, I need to give after my 4th year of semester of masters and the 1st semester of the PhD. In that 1st semester of PhD, I have to go through the new project literature, and based on that, I have to make a project report. And on that, I have to perform some experiments in that project, and I have to make a presentation out of that experiments. So that was the 2 new things a dual degree student has to do apart from the comprehensive exam and the research proposal seminar. So research proposal seminar comes all after this comprehensive and these 2 new
presentation.
2 courses, 2 presentations. So we have to make 1 report, like written, how do you write the manuscripts in your PhD in your 2nd, 3rd, 4th year. So same manuscript we have to write based on the literature survey and some of the experiments that we have conducted in the first 6 months of our PhD, like after my master's completion. So one thing I did good was that so in 4th year of 4th semester of masters, I was very well known. I'll not be able to give much time to the project. So I tried to finish as many courses of my PhD also during that 6 months. I finished 2 of my PhD courses that time and research associated courses that time. So only 2 courses I did my in my first 6 months of my PhD, and so that I can finish off these 2 additional course, these presentations. So in that first 6 months, I completed that one along with my the project that was allotted to me. So that time my project was also, it was not completely decided. So I have switched from my master's project to a PhD project, which is still very new for me. And how I am going to what to say, how I'm मतलब मैं उसको कैसे build up करना है, that was again a new task for me. Okay, so this is how like a PhD life goes on, with so many challenges and difficulties, and there will be so many health issues for a PhD candidate, I'll say, because you put a lot of effort for the throughout the day for your experiments. So आपका social life थोड़ा cut out होता जाता है. So I'll say try to balance your social life along with your PhD work also. But definitely I won't say don't put see, every university, every institute's PhD cannot be compared. For some people, PhD will be not that easy. For someone, PhD will be easy. So yeah, so a PhD candidate has to face so many challenges. So like that, so dual degree student, being a dual degree student, I think I gave you a flavor. What are the courses, additional courses you need to do, and the 2 presentations, then the comprehensive exam, and then comes to the research proposal seminar. And once you clear your comprehensive exam, it will be very much similar for all the other rest PhD candidates. You are no more very different from a MSc-PhD dual degree program than to a regular PhD student. Now it's up to your hand how fast you are trying to finish your PhD, and to your professor also. There are so many factors. I think a PhD is not that easy, and many institutes organize several different workshops. Like this, Madhur is having a one-to-one conversation for sharing the personal experience. Like that, so many people do conduct such kind of workshops to know experiences about PhD challenges. And recently I have given the similar kind of chemistry careers in chemical, like from chemical engineering department from IIT Madras. So we had I had an invited lecture in that. So if we want to talk, Madhur, more about the PhD challenges, I think we can take it up in a different session. This will not be the one to elaborate more on that. Yeah. So I'll just conclude that a PhD is not that, won't be that easy. So, but it is very like experienced or very trained kind of, it's actually a training. How does a military person get trained? So you are also getting training in various domains. A PhD will be actually full of patience and full of experience of doing things, and he or she will be experienced or expert, I'll say, becomes an expert in their own project, as well as they have mastery in different projects. So that is the one thing I'll say for a PhD student. So that's how I change from MSc to PhD. And yeah, next.
ओके सो मैम का कुछ, जैसे मैम ने बताया कि एमएससी पीएचडी ड्यूअल डिग्री में कुछ चैलेंजेस, मतलब कोर्सेज आपको ज्यादा करने पड़ते हैं. मैम ने इलोबरेट किया कि आपको 2 प्रेजेंटेशन मोर करनी पड़ेगी. ठीक है, टोटल 6 कोर्सेज करने पड़ते हैं आपको इन 1 ईयर. सो चैलेंजेस होते हैं. ठीक है, और जैसे मैं कन्वर्सेशन कर रहा हूँ पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स मैम सर से, तो यही चीज कंक्लूड होके निकलती है कि बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स डिपेंड करते हैं आपकी पीएचडी जर्नी के लिए. प्रोफेसर सर भी डिपेंड करेगा, आपका इंस्टीट्यूट भी डिपेंड करेगा. ठीक है, आपकी सराउंडिंग भी डिपेंड करेगी. तो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं. ठीक है, और प्लस माइनस जैसे मैम ने बताया उसके बारे में हम एक न्यू वीडियो बना लेंगे कि पीएचडी ओनली फॉर पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ही हम वो वीडियो बना लेंगे. ठीक है, बस मैम मेरा इससे रिलेटेड एक ये क्वेश्चन है कि जैसे आप ने भी बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को कंडक्ट किया है फॉर प्रोजेक्ट, फॉर टीचिंग. ठीक है, तो आप क्या क्वालिटी देखते हैं जैसे अगर मैं अपने आप को एक स्टूडेंट मान लूं, एमएससी स्टूडेंट, तो आप क्या क्वालिटी देखते हैं कि मेरे में क्या क्वालिटी आप देख रहे हो कि मैं आपके अंडर प्रोजेक्ट पीएचडी करूं? मतलब मैं
Okay.
एप्लीकेबल हूं, मैं एप्लीकेबल हूं आपसे आपके अंडर पीएचडी करने के लिए?
Very good question, actually. Yeah. See, I have, being a postdoc, I have co-supervised many MSc students and PhD student also at IIT Delhi, and still I am co-supervising one of the PhD student from IIT Madras through online discussions. Like, I was there, and that time he joined in that same project. So although I am out of the IIT Madras, so this is one of the very critical part of the PhD candidate, that you have to be associated with your professor and that lab in some or the other way. Many people don't connect with that, but if you connect it, it's good for you only. So if I'm co-supervising, so the first thing Madhur, I'll say, like, the time when a professor hire a MSc student, they don't see everything when they ask them to join as a PhD student, because you are already coming to the PhD interview after qualifying some GATE exam or CSIR-Net or JRF, correct?
Yes.
So they know that you have given, so that's the basic eligibility for getting a PhD at several institutes. You need to get a JRF, okay, JRF or GATE. Yeah. So a professor never looks so many details about you. Rather, they will look your academic performance. Okay. So basically, your I'll say your resume is more important. So how you make your resume and at that time, rather than your qualities. Okay. So qualities definitely will play an important role, in the sense, like, if you have given, if you are part of some activities, like some presentations, some conferences you have done at your master's level also, may not be presented, but you have attended some symposia, some workshops. So these will be a plus or bonus point, okay, for a professor to look when he is looking your resume. So that is one important thing. The second thing is a PhD, I'll say, like, I think for a professor doesn't look much into that PhD candidate, and he actually comes to know more about that person when he joins that group. Okay. So now, so that is my, I think, conclusion. I don't think so I will put more so you have to make yourself comfortable where you want to join. You have to know your interest. Say in chemistry, there are 4 branches: physical, inorganic, organic, and analytical. Nowadays, analytical, is also important. So actually, it's not the professor. What should professor should look for a PhD to take that up? It's actually on the PhD, on the candidate who is a student or the scholar who is going to join the PhD, which professor he or she wants to choose for their PhD. That is the thing. Okay. And for that, actually, you need to have few points in your mind. The thing is your interest, then that group, or about that professor. If you can see, when you give interview, you don't get choices which professor you want to choose immediately, but you give first interview. So you be well prepared for your interview. And after doing masters, you already have an inherent interest ki you are more towards organic or physical or any other subject. I'm giving an example of chemistry, but you can think of your based on your subject. So you will have an interest on that. So be like confident and master in that particular subject. So if you have interest, then please be well in that. So if you are good in physical, then you should be well prepared about your physical chemistry topics, because when you give an interview, every interview panelist will ask you what is your interest. So that is the first thing they do ask. And sometimes they go against that interest. They will start asking you organic, but that's a rare case, okay? But mostly, if you say your physical chemistry interest, then in physical chemistry, they will ask you, what chapters do you like more, like electrochemistry or thermodynamics? Then based on that, they will ask, like for the interview, this is about the interview. So this is actually for the PhD student, what they should think for themselves, that they should be prepared of. So a professor doesn't look so many details about you. They will just see your academic performance and how well you have done at your interview, because they have that only options for them to choose you. They can't go back behind you. They don't know who are your friends that they should ask you about whether you are good or bad. So that's my my advice on that. So yeah, I think up to you now, Madhur.
ओके ओके या तो मैम ने जैसे बोला कि ठीक है, आप पे डिपेंड करता है ज्यादा कि आपको पीएचडी करनी है किसके अंडर में, ठीक है। प्रोफेसर यही चीज देखता है कि आपका इंटरेस्ट है या नहीं, ठीक है, और वो आपका रिज्यूम बहुत मैटर करता है आपकी पीएचडी ज्वाइन करने में, ठीक है, जैसे मैम ने बताया, ठीक है। तो उसके लिए आप इंटर्नशिप, जैसे मैम पहले तो बहुत कम इंटर्नशिप होती थी जैसे मैम ने पहले मेंशन किया था, बट अब हर आईआईटी इंटर्नशिप कराती है। सो डू इंटर्नशिप मैनी मोर एंड डू प्रेजेंटेशंस, सो योर रिज्यूम विल बी बेटर, सो इट विल बी रिफ्लेक्ट, आपको रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा वो प्रोफेसर के सामने। सो जैसे मैम ने बताया, सो मैम लास्ट टॉपिक इज दैट कि पोस्ट डॉक, अबाउट पोस्ट डॉक, ठीक है। आई एम वेरी क्यूरियस नो अबाउट पोस्ट डॉक, ठीक है। मैंने केवल सुना ही है कि हाँ 2-3 इयर्स की होती है, बट एक्चुअली में क्या होता है इसमें, ठीक है। पीएचडी टू पोस्ट डॉक आपकी जर्नी कैसी रही? या यस मैम।
या सो इस बात मतलब पोस्ट डॉक का एक्चुअली में ये है कि it's actually not just Madhur, there were several people like you know, so now I am actually very interesting to say कि आप अगर अब PhD अगर आप केमिस्ट्री से करते हो तो यू मतलब आप अपने आप को रेजिस्ट, मतलब एकदम वो नहीं कर सकते हो, किसी चीज पे फिक्स नहीं कर सकते हो कि आप पोस्ट डॉक आपको केमिस्ट्री में ही करनी है। आप केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट में जाओ, मटेरियल साइंस डिपार्टमेंट में जाओ, बेस्ड ऑन योर पीएचडी। पीएचडी इज अ स्पेशलाइजेशन इन सम पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग पे जहां उसका एप्लीकेशन होगा आप स्विच कर सकते हो। So now I am no more in chemistry department, okay? So in IIT Kanpur, I am at chemical engineering department. So postdoc आप किसी भी फील्ड में कर सकते हो, किसी फील्ड मतलब आई मीन टू से किसी भी डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट में कर सकते हो। एंड आई वाज टेलिंग कि मधुर की तरह ऐसे बहुत सारे कैंडिडेट्स हैं जिन्होंने मेरे से पूछा था, मैम आप एक पोस्टडॉक कर चुके हो, आप फिर दूसरा पोस्टडॉक क्यों कर रहे हो, आप जॉब के लिए नहीं कर सकते? So this is actually the current scenario कि you know that jobs are not getting a very good job, permanent job or something, ask or demands you more and more experience in every field. I think for you also to establish something in coaching or something, you need to have a experience of at least 3 to 4 years. So same thing happens for a PhD student to get an assistant professor job. And now it depends on you where you are targeting your assistant professor job. First and foremost thing, if you target, that doesn't go in according to your wish, but then I think it is like you need some experience. So a postdoc, it's not just a limited of 2 years postdoc experience for. Now some people till they get job, they continue doing postdoc even for 10 years. So Singapore is one such country which gives opportunity for foreign candidates to continue their postdoc for 10 years also at the same institute. Like I was not knowing this thing, but since I attended one international conference at Singapore, so so in that I have got to know this thing. So this is what the scenario. So nowadays, job crisis in academic field, it's not about crisis basically. It's actually, we say, no, utility and some supply chain demand kind of thing. Correct.
Yeah.
So the same thing happens in our job industry also. So now many candidates are getting PhD qualified, but the jobs are limited. So there is a huge fight for this group to the limited number of the jobs. So so for that reason, people are asking more and more better in you. Like they want more and more experience from you in order to secure one particular job. Earlier, immediately after PhD, actually earlier in IITs, to get a job in IITs or NITs, you should had a good postdoc experience from abroad. Why they prefer abroad? Because in abroad, the research scenario is a bit different compared to India, which is very true fact. So they want you to explore the research experience in abroad and try to incorporate that in your Indian institutes also. So that is one thing which is not wrong from the that aspect, but the current situation for sometimes it becomes wrong because there are many people like me who because of some family personal things don't get opportunity to go abroad. Although it's not like I was not selected. In future maybe I can go, but currently I'm not. So I'm trying to establish my profile from the well-reputed institutes in India, doing multiple postdocs. And so a postdoc is something you should, the main important idea about postdoc is you should keep running your research. You should get good publications out of that. Your research, it should not seem like your research has stopped after your PhD. So in that aspect, you need to do postdoc, keep maintaining your research profile in terms of papers, patents, and publications, keep attending workshops, seminars, and conferences so that your research aptitude is still maintained. And then keep on after anyways, no institute will hire you if you have less than 1 or 2 years of postdoc experience. So once you have 1 year of postdoc experience, you start applying to any of this. See, if you want to go, see, I was lucky that I immediately after my PhD, I got a contractual assistant professor guest faculty job at NIT Hamirpur. So I won't say stop only apply after 1 year of postdoc. You can apply, but apply in such a way that you will join that institute. Okay. So this is one of the suggestion I have got from my professors. Actually, I got one of this suggestion from my BHU professor. So I was applying to all the places. This is what happens with all candidates. You will apply to so many things because we don't know where we will end up. So that also you should do, but apply only to those places where you are sure that you will join as an assistant professor or something. Because it's also important, because if you give interview and you don't see, if it's very 2-3 choices, तो you should, मतलब आपको 2-3 choices रखनी पड़ती है कि हाँ मुझे इसमें भी करना चाहिए, बट हर जगह भी नहीं करना चाहिए. उसमें आपका सिर्फ टाइम वेस्ट होगा और आपका एक बुरा इम्पैक्ट ये पड़ेगा क्योंकि आप पैनलिस्ट में बैठ चुके हो तो वो पैनलिस्ट कहीं और ना हो. तो कमिंग टू दी मधुर का जो क्वेश्चन था कि पोस्टडॉक क्यों किया जाता है इतना मल्टीपल बार, द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज सो दैट आपका रिसर्च एप्टीट्यूड कंटिन्यू रहे विद गुड पेपर्स, पब्लिकेशंस एंड पेटेंट. और एक चीज और है कि पीएचडी में आप अपने सुपरवाइजर के कंट्रोल में कोई काम करते हो और पोस्टडॉक आप इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्चर अपने आप को बना रहे हो. तो आप खुद से कैसे किसी प्रोजेक्ट को सोच के करते हो और कैसे जूनियर्स को गाइड करते हो, वो आपकी टैलेंट उस समय स्किल आपकी बिल्डअप होती है. तो दैट्स व्हाई पीपल कीप ऑन कंटिन्यूइंग पोस्टडॉक. और थर्ड चीज होती है कि why people continue postdoc till they get job, and postdoc in abroad they are actually highly paid. तो it's a like financially आप अच्छे भी रहते हो. So that is one thing.
सो बहुत सारे मतलब अगर रीजंस को मैम ने बहुत अच्छी तरीके से एक्सप्लेन किया कि पोस्ट डॉग ऐसा नहीं है कि 2 इयर्स 3 इयर्स के लिए, ऐसा नहीं है। मैम ने जैसे कंक्लूड किया अपनी बात को कि रिसर्च ओरिएंटेड आप बने रहें, ठीक है। और जैसे मैम ने बताया कि पीएचडी में तो प्रोफेसर का जैसे हाथ होता है हमारे ऊपर, लेकिन पोस्ट डॉग में आप सेल्फ इंडिपेंडेंट आपको वर्क करना है, ठीक है। क्योंकि आप जिस जर्नी में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं फॉर असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर, सो आपको इंडिपेंडेंटली वर्क करना पड़ता है। सो थैंक यू सो मच मैम, ठीक है। आपका एक्सपीरियंस इट्स वेरी ग्रेट एक्चुअली में, ठीक है। और जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स, और वी विल कंटिन्यू डेफिनेटली इफ यू हैव टाइम, सो वी विल डेफिनेटली कंटिन्यू वीडियोस फॉर पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स सेपरेटली ऑल्सो। सो मैम के बारे में मैं ये बता दूं, ठीक है, कि मैम के 28 से ज्यादा पेपर पब्लिश है और 5 सेल्फ जो होता है ना फर्स्ट ऑथर पब्लिकेशन मैम की पब्लिश है, ठीक है। ये वैसे मेरे को फर्स्टली बता देनी चाहिए थी वीडियो में, बट मैं मैम की प्रोफाइल इतनी बड़ी है कि पूरी एक वीडियो उसमें चल जाएगी, ठीक है। सो मैम ने बहुत सारे सेमिनार अटेंड कर रखे